So, morning people, hope you're doing well. So, we are 7 minutes late. So, we had some technical hitches, but we have worked on them. So, I'll just do the normal market breakdown. So, we're actually planning on how we can change some of the formats of the Zoom session, and we'd also like some feedback from you guys. So, we are thinking of introducing not only market breakdowns for the Zoom sessions, but also other topics that you can cover, probably how we manage risk, how to manage yourself, how to craft a trading plan, and some of these things which also I think are also important in your trading market. So it's not mainly about analysis. There are also other things: money management, winning streaks, losing streaks, how you manage such things, which is practical when you're trading live. If you're not trading live, then probably you don't even understand some of these things that you're talking about. But if you're trading live, I'm sure you understand some of those things that you're talking about. So obviously we can't start it this year. So towards next year is when we think we'll now alternate and change some of these things. But for now, we'll just keep on doing the normal market breakdowns, sharing with you some of the live trades we take, the lessons you can learn from those trades, and then eventually we can know how to position ourselves in the markets. So directly I'll go into the chart breakdowns. I think markets have been quite interesting, and some of the setups I shared on Monday played out really well. Like I had a gold position which worked out really well, and also other trades. So I'll start off my analysis by looking at, I think the best thing for me to do is to look at where I think there are opportunities in the markets. So I'll start off with oil. I'm stocking some pattern that is currently in formation. Then I will look at the dollar. I think the dollar has actually broken out of its trading band for quite some time. So over the last 6 months, been trading in a slight consolidation. I think finally we've seen a breakout. And then I look at probably euro yen and gold. There was an interesting setup that we did on Monday, worked out really well. So bringing in about 3% on my account. I don't know how you guys position sized, which is a good win. So currently I don't have any position. So over time you also learn the value of under trading, taking very less positions. And many of you think that more trades means more money, but over time you discover that the more trades you take, the higher a chance is that you're taking very bad trades, and probably you're losing money if you look at the net effect of your trading. So you learn to cut some of the trades. So for now I take about 3-4 trades in a week. I think sometimes even 1-2 in a month. I'm looking for about 10 setups. So my style is swing trading. Obviously if you're doing day trading, you can't do what I do, so you have to find your way, find your sweet spot, and find how you trade, because over trading is again relative. It depends on your style, the patterns you're watching, the frequency of opportunities occurring, the patterns you're watching, how often they repeat, very many things which I think I won't go into detail right now. So I'll just jump directly into oil. So hopefully you can all see my screen now. So this is oil. I'll start off from the daily charts. And I think for this one, the setup I have is mainly out of a correlation idea I have. So it's not really also a very beautiful pattern, and that's why I've not jumped into it yet. So let me just show you the breakdown. So this is oil, and we saw oil go to zero, and we have now seen a recovery. We're almost trading back at the $50-$55 a barrel. And I think over the next 3 to 5 years, we could see a very big bull market on oil as demands pop, as vaccine is developed, as the many people who are in the oil business go out of business, then we could see oil come back and go higher significantly. So if I just use the Fibonacci tool, you'll discover that we had the first leg, and then we had this correction which was supported by 61.8, and now markets could actually go back all the way to 47.5, which is the ultimate target. I'd actually not brought in that detail, but now I think I've factored it in. So I think 47.5 is the right level to short, and if you're getting to 47.5, then there's a high chance you'll get to $50 a barrel, or $49-$50 a barrel. So I think there's a way that markets work, and if certain levels are broken, then I think the next level of support will come in at a certain level. So anyway, that's the daily chart. Looking at it from a 4-hour perspective, then here we have some confusion or a bit of not alignment, and that's what I don't like about the specific setup I'm talking about. So if you look at it from a 4-hour perspective, we had this wedge formation. We were waiting for a move up to 47.5 for a clear short signal. That never happened. Instead, we got a move lower, breaking past 44.5, went as low as $44 a barrel yesterday night, and now we are starting to see some recovery. So if you look at it from this perspective, then it's clear that this is probably a break, a retest, and you could get a continuation to the downside, 42.5, 41.5, testing the major level before the next bull leg. But on the hourly, again, there's something contradicting the short bias. So on the hourly, we have this clear third bounce of the channel. So we had the first bounce, second bounce, and now I've gotten a third bounce. This third bounce is actually in line with 38.2 Fib retracement. So if I just use this one, and we discover that this is 38.2, I think, yeah, so around 38.2, and you could get these markets now moving higher all the way to 27.2, 47.5. So there's a lot that calls for 47.5 as a target. If you key in your risk reward ratios, so actually I think I'll just take this position. I think as markets are moving, I'm getting more confidence in taking the setup. So if I just target this level, I have about 300 points from where we are currently trading, 44.5 to 44, 43 to 47.5, and your stops can come in just below the 43.75. So 43.5 is a good stop level. You're risking about 100 pips, 90 to make about 300. So not a bad risk reward ratio. A risk reward ratio of about 1:3.5. So you don't often get such risk reward ratios. So what I do in such cases is I start with a small position, then build it up as the markets are moving. So probably I'll start with one position here, add as the markets will break 45.5, and then probably after a break of 46, I'll add again, and finally be left with the whole move now when the markets are moving. So a very good pattern, and I think I'll just take this trade after the Zoom session. So I was a bit hesitant to take it when it was still trading here, because I expected probably we'll get a move lower, but as you move into London now, we're getting more confirmation of the probable bull move to 47.5. So that's the first setup that I'm watching. If I just look at Euro Yen, also quite interesting. So Euro Yen, for a long time I've been looking for a long position. Actually, Caleb has been laughing at me because I've missed out on this bull move, and I've been looking for it for quite some time. I've actually lost some money trying to get it. So the first long position I had, I think, was at 123.75. Then I was squeezed by this move. Then probably you know the psychological implications of losing on an idea. So I never came in, and I never found an entry ever since. It bottomed at the 123 level, and you've been moving higher all the way to 126. So about 400 points, which is a lot on this pair, because most pairs don't, some of these currency pairs don't move that much. So this is a big opportunity that I've missed. Anyway, I'm still looking for markets to keep on moving higher. Probably we'll get a correction at the 126.5 level. So if I just look at the 4-hour chart, I have this beautiful channel formation. So I think we could get a correction from 126.5 back to 125.5. If it's an extreme correction, we could get even a move to 124.5. I think it's not impossible. So I think we could get a move to 124.5, even 124. Then you could get the final bull move. In the event that you break 126.5, then I think there is no stopping, and the markets will rally all the way to the 128 to 130 level. But that's not highly probable. So I'm looking for shorts from 126.5. I'm just waiting for a clear signal on the hourly chart or something of the sort before I come in short. So clearly you can see I was waiting for a short here, but it was broken, and I think on 26.5 it will be quite hard for markets to break past that level. So I'm looking for shorts from that level, looking for 125.5, about 100 pips. You have to rely on position sizing now for you to make big money in such trade ideas. So that's the second setup that I'm watching. So those are the only two setups that I have, at least for now, that I think I can execute. Then finally I can look at gold. I had a clear bull run all the way from the 1775 level to the 1812 level. So I got about 380 pips, which is not bad. I think markets still have some upside to 1835, 1850. We'll get a move to 1850. But I don't see the risk reward in coming in at the current level. So I was expecting a correction back down all the way to 1785 before the next bull run. But if it doesn't happen, then this one is not the trade for me. For those of you who feel comfortable with taking such trades, you can take them. But for me, I don't think there's much of a trade there. So clearly this is the setup. Yeah, there's a high chance that markets will get here, but the risk reward is not as appealing, because you could get a correction before the bull move or something of the sort. So I don't like such positions where I second guess myself. For this one, I'll just stay out, watch how markets will be doing. If I get an entry at 1785, then I could come in. If I don't get an entry, then I just leave it at that and wait for the next opportunity in the markets. So that's Euro Yen. Looking at Dow Jones. So next I can look at Dow Jones. So let me first look at the dollar, which I think is quite interesting. So this is the dollar, the dollar, the dollar, the dollar. So this is it. So yep, looking at it from a long-term perspective, like I said, clearly you can see the momentum behind the bearish moves. I think there is no stopping for this one, and this is actually what gives me more confidence of going into the oil trade, because I think if there's a lot of dollar weakness, then there's a high chance that oil will just keep on rallying. So I think markets will ultimately come down. The next target for me comes in at the 89.5. If I just switch my pivot points to traditional, yeah, 89.5 is a good conservative target for this one. I think the next term will come in from that level. Been consolidating for quite some time, so this is just a breakout, a continuation of the pattern that we've been talking about. And the monthly, last month was quite bearish. This month also, you could just get a continuation lower all the way to this level before the month is over. So that's what I'm watching on the dollar. And I think GBP USD, someone is asking about GBP strength, so let me just look at GBP USD. I think the pound will ultimately rally higher. So if I just look at it from the weekly chart, there's a strong level, the 1.333350 level, which was not taken out for quite some time, and now markets are struggling to go above it. So you could get the pound rallying to 1.35, 1.4 level ultimately. But those are ambitious targets. I think you need to really believe in your system. But for me, I follow systematic trades. So first bounce, second bounce, third bounce. I think new highs will ultimately come in at the 1.40 level. So long shots can come from such levels, but for now I don't think there's any opportunity to come in short at this market as it's trading currently. So those are some of the markets I'm watching, some of the patterns I'm watching. No trade for me here. I had a beautiful ranging market mapped out, and you got a break and a retest, but those are not my kind of trades, so I never really took it. So you can see clearly you had this ranging market well mapped out, and you got a break and a retest of the level, and now markets are moving higher. So you could get markets 1.3450, a break of that calls for 1.35 as your level, but that's not a systematic trade for me. It's not one of the patterns that I normally trade, and I've learned over time to avoid such markets. So I think I'll stop there. I'll pass it on to Caleb to do some of the markets. He has some of the pairs he's watching, and then we can take it from there next time. So any other question? Okay, someone is saying about breaking news. I don't know about the vaccine, so that's some news. I think I'll check it out. Someone is talking about, could you recommend some good daily habits to practice as a good trader? So some good daily habits. One, I think the main challenge that most people have, and I've interacted with quite a number of traders, is having the discipline, or rather the mental space, to be able to execute your system well. So if there's something that you can do to, one, increase awareness of your day-to-day activities, of your emotions, of how your state of mind changes from one state to another, from emotional to bored, from bored to impulsive, from impulsive to rational, from rational to calm. All these states of mind which we frequently move from one to another. Obviously there is the base mood. So some people are generally calm, some people are generally anxious, some people are generally fearful. So if you can be able to learn which states of mind work best for you in your trading, then you can be able, I think, to really make some good decisions and ultimately improve on your trading. So I think I'd tell you to focus on that. One, creating more awareness, and two, being disciplined. So I think if you can be disciplined enough to do the right things, and I think also discipline comes from a state of mind. So discipline is also awareness, knowing when you're going to be emotional, and instead of making decisions in that space, you stay away from the markets or stay away from making decisions. Then you can be able to improve yourself, ultimately getting better and better in your game. So these are some of the things that I think you can practice and improve on your trading. Rather than that, it depends on your system. Does your system need more creativity? Does your system need better execution techniques? So some of those things that you can also practice. But I think for me, discipline and awareness are the key things that I think really bring in success for you as a trader. So knowing when you want to cut a position and you shouldn't do it, when you want to enter a position and you shouldn't do it. So such just minor things, but those are the things that I think you need to really work on for you to improve on your trading. So I think I'll stop there, then I'll pass it on to Caleb, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey guys, I hope everyone is well, having a wonderful week. As Ken has analyzed a few pairs here and there, I hope you've taken one or two things out of what he said. So, I look at a few pairs. I look at Aussie dollar, then I look at USD card, and can finish maybe with New Zealand dollar because I see someone asking about New Zealand dollar, so I don't mind looking at that. So let me share my screen first, just a sec. So here we go.
Fine.
So I'll start with Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar was a pair I was looking at on Monday. It's a trade I'd taken. I had a very good entry. As I said on Monday morning, I just got my entry around this top level, and I was looking at this pattern forming 1 hour chart. If you go to the 30-minute, this is a pattern I was looking at. So you can see this wedge pattern that we covered. Market came, got this top. Here's where I got my entry. Market was falling, and now market is sort of retracing back. So I took half of my position out. So once you get that break, once you got this break below this level, so I have the 4-hour chart. I was watching this level you're seeing here. So it was a resistance, it broke, acted as support. I was still in my full position, but when market started coming back up, once you got this break, I came out half of my position and left the other position to run risk-free, because you never know what will happen in the markets. So the dollar, as Ken has covered, is really dropping, and this can, if it continues dropping, then the trend will continue. If you look at the daily chart, this pair has been on an uptrend. So this is what we have. Daily chart, long term, this pair has been really going up the same way the dollar has been falling. So dollar weakness continues to be the narrative. If we get that break above this year's high, we got our yearly highs on August, end of August, early September. If that break is taken out, then you can see this rally going on to the upside. So I have my stops at break even. Luckily, I got an entry up here at 0.4740, so my stops are break even around that level. If market goes back, breaks that, I'll be sitting out and watching what the market gives me after that. Apart from that, if I look at USD card, this pair has been really dropping. We've been within this channel formation that we've been covering all year round ever since March. Market has really been dropping, forming lower lows, lower highs. Yesterday we got a strong break of this level. So Monday we tried breaking below this level. Market went back up, got that rejection, and yesterday we got that strong break. So following that, you can see this market continuing falling, especially looking at oil going further up and the dollar weakening, then this pair can also continue to really fall. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we're breaking a critical level. So I sort of had this pattern channel formation that I thought market will hold, having got this bottom over here. So if this market closes and continues lower, you'll see this crash. But if the market is able to hold, which you have to wait and be patient for the 4-hour close and see how it will close as a pinball or something, maybe it can get that push to the upside. But so far the dollar weakness is really coming in. So I don't have any trade running on this one. The only trade I have is the one on Aussie dollar, so that's the one I'm mainly watching. But apart from that, if I look at the New Zealand dollar that I shared earlier on today, so my basic approach to that, I don't trade this pair, so I just did a rough analysis earlier on today morning. So I was just looking at the pair because New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar normally move in tandem. So while I was doing my analysis on Aussie dollar, I just said, let me look at this pair. And what I was getting was sort of this formation. So if I zoom it out completely, what you get to see is at this top, once you got this top up here, market came down and sort of now we're retracing back to the 78.6 level. Okay, so looking at recently what is happening, because I'm not that much of a long-term trader, so I don't go really far back on my daily chart. So I'm looking at recent price action ever since we bottomed in March. This is a pattern that has been forming. So looking at 78.6, paying attention to how market is going to approach that level, I now went down to the 4-hour chart just to look at what pattern is forming. So This is the pattern that's forming as market is approaching. So a wedge within a wedge, but currently we can see that level is really being broken. So same thing at advise you over here. We're seeing that strong break up there. Let me go the 1 hour chart just to get a clear analysis. Up here you're seeing that strong crazy break, and what normally happens in the market, that's why it's really important to be patient, not really jumping into trades just immediately. Market normally goes to extreme. You can get that spike level to touch that 78.6 level we're talking about, and then later on you can see the market falling. So this one, just be patient, wait for this close maybe to happen. But so far we're seeing that dollar strength continuing. If I go to my 30-minute, I was looking at another pattern in here, but currently you're seeing that crazy break. So at the moment it's best to be patient, wait for this to first settle down. Someone was asking about NFP. Yes, NFP is something you should really watch on Friday, and yes, it will affect this pair because NFP affects all dollar pairs. No dollar pairs left out. So watch how this pattern will form during the week. The best thing you can do is maybe wait for a weekly close and just see how the market is going to close thereafter. Apart from that, Ken has covered the others. GBP USD, just to cover, we had this sort of triangular formation which was very clean, and I'm very sure most of you have really lost money on this trade this week because market was forming. Like currently, look what is happening. There's that crazy spike. It looked like it was going up. Look what is happening currently. It's shooting to the downside. So the GBP, the pound, has been quite a tough pair for people to trade this week, especially if you're a trend trader. If you're more of a day trader and you had this in out within the range, that was a good idea to have. But currently you're seeing this noise that's happening. Look at that drop that is currently happening. This is about 100 pips that has just come in right now. So it's crazy. The markets are very volatile. The dollar pairs are really volatile. So as long as you have proper risk management, make sure to follow the analysis well. You can see this triangular, we had that sort of break, and now crazily, I don't know what's coming out. Maybe this is news that's happening. I don't know. Ken, can you see any news? I don't know where this spike is coming from. So I've not checked. Most of the things you can see when this happens is a catalyst, maybe from some news. I've seen someone talking about Pfizer with their vaccines and all. So I'm not sure about the pound pairs. But just pay attention to that and really watch this pair closely. Apart from that, I don't have much. Ken has covered the rest. Oil pairs I just analyzed. I don't really trade. BTC, we are seeing BTC really shooting to new highs, but no need to do that. Apart from that, I don't have much. I think that's all I have for today. So dollar, keep an eye on the dollar. Keep an eye on the dollar. Let's see what is going to happen. So apart from that, I think I'll end it there today. Nothing much for today. And yeah, we're just watching. Many people have an assumption that during the holidays, December holiday, the market doesn't move as much, but as we are looking at last year is when gold started its move. So it's crazy. It's not really because we're going into the December holiday that people won't be trading. The markets are quite different from what actually happens in the real world. When people are going on holiday, you can find more people, even the institutional traders, making their moves in the trades. So do you guys trade BTC? Someone is asking if you trade Bitcoin. No, we do not trade Bitcoin. We do not participate in it. We just trade the commodities, indexes, and the currencies. So that's what we've specialized in. That's what we've been doing over the years. So I see no more questions. I think I'll end it there today. If you found this video late, I'll be uploading it on the YouTube channel, so don't worry. And apart from that, I'll see you guys on Friday. If you have any questions, if you want to buy a book, you know where to find us in our offices at J Quartals, or where to contact us. So I see Mike saying awesome. So cool. That's it from me, guys. We have some more work to do today, so I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.